Yesterday we had started rock mechanics. So in the rock mechanics we have seen the uh, exploration method. First is the direct method. In the direct method we just drill hole or directly gather rock and find out the physical and the chemical proposition of the our startup. Okay, through the core boring or recovery. So these are the direct methods examples. Second, we had discussed that prospecting we use four methods. First was the seismic method. Second was the electrical method or electromagnetic field we use. Third was the gravity method, and fourth was the magnetic method. I think you have revised properly. So then we had discussed the RQD, rock quality designation. RQD, you should remember with the RQD. What is the RQD? We will take a sample and I consider those lengths which are the more than equal to 10 centimeter. So the sum of the length of the course greater than 10 centimeter divided by the total length of the core, total length. And we will find out the percentage of the RQD, and then we will check in which range our RQD is, and then according to the range we will decide which type of our rock is. So remember this formula. We have seen also a example how we will go and solve the question, and we had also discussed the unit weight of the unit weight. What is the unit weight? Unit weight of the any solid is so weight divided by volume. Okay, W is weight and V is the volume. So if you want to calculate the weight of the unit weight of the dry sample, then we will take a dry sample, then weight of solid, we will consider only weight of solid divided by total volume. If we want to find out the unit weight of the water, then we will divide weight of water divided by the volume of the water. Then we had also discussed the specific gravity. What is the specific gravity? Any material is the ratio of the density to that of water. Density to the density of the material divided by density of the water, we will get our specific gravity. This is the formula, and I told you to remember this formula also. Determine the specific gravity of the soil sample. To find out the soil sample, if we go, we need a weight of the soil divided by weight of water. So weight of the soil, so this W0 is the mass of the empty pacnometer plus dry soil. So it will be WPS minus WP. WP is the mass of empty. So it will cut down your mass of empty, and the dry soil weight will be remain on the top, divided by W0. W0, which means similar, and then WA. What is WA? The weight of pacnometer filled with water. So it is the pacnometer weight with the water. It is the pacnometers, weight of the pacnometer filled with water plus soil. It is just water. It is water plus soil. Then we have also seen the void ratio. What is the void ratio? So what is the void? So suppose that this is your block and these are the pores. This is the voids, the blank space. So in both the block, the more void in this block and list in the this block. So we will take the volume of the void divided by volume of the solid. It is the void ratio. Please remember it is equal to E. And we also seen the last property, the porosity. What is the porosity? Porosity, that means the volume of the void divided by the total volume. The difference between the porosity and the void ratio is the volume which we divide. In the porosity we divide with the volume, total volume, and in the void ratio we divide with the volume of solid. Please remember, it will help you to solve the question and better understanding. So we have also seen this derivation. So how you will go? So VV by Vs is the void ratio, and porosity is the volume of void divided by volume of total. We can calculate VV volume, we divide by the Vs, multiply by the Vs, and V total. So this VV by Vs we can write down E, and Vt divided by Vs. So Vt we can write down Vs plus Vv, and when we divide it will be E by 1 plus E. So please remember this formula also. Now also remember that if we have more pore or then more voids, that means more porosity, and less pores means less porosity. Now come to the density. What is density? What is density? Density is the defined as the mass per unit volume of the rock. There are three types of density. देखो तीन टाइप की होती है. First, dry density. Second is bulk density, and third is the saturated density. Okay, so what are the difference between the dry density? So suppose this is the your block. Okay, so if these pores or these voids do not contain water. Okay, so suppose this is the block and this is the voids, and this void do not contain water, then the dry density will be mass per unit volume. When the you do not when this specimen does not contain the air, then we call it dry density. If this block void contains some water, not fully loaded with the water, but some of the void will contain some water, then it will call as a bulk density. And third type is that if this is the block and its pores or its void content or filled with the waters is contained the wholly contained with the waters, each and every void will fill with the water contain water, then we call it as the saturated. So what is the dry density? There is the refer to the mass per unit volume when the rock mass is completely dry. Okay, then when completely void or air fill in the voids, then we will call it the dry density. If the bulk density, that means the mass per unit volume is normal condition where the void contains some liquid or some air. Means some of the void will contain water and some of the void contain air. Then we call it as a bulk density. And saturated, so it refers the mass per unit volume when the rock mass is fully saturated. That means all the void or all the holes contain water. It's known as saturated density. I think it is clear for you. So please remember this formula. Here this is the moisture. First we will see moisture, then we come back to this formula. So what is the moisture? Moisture content. What is the moisture content? When the ratio of the weight of the water present in the sample to the weight of the sample. What it means? Suppose some water in the spores. Okay. So weight of water divided by, or then the sample. This is a whole sample. Then the weight of the sample is known as moisture content. Okay. So weight of the water present in the sample. So weight of the water divided with weight of solid is known as moisture content. Please remember this moisture content formula also. So here it is the weight of solid, not weight of total. So weight of water divided by weight of solid multiply with the 100. Please remember this clearly. So it is not a total volume, this is the weight of solid. So in this formula you can write down, if he asks you the relation dry density equal to bulk density divided by 1 plus moisture content. Please remember this formula. And if you this is moisture content, then it is a weight of water divided by weight of solid. Okay. So what we have discussed till now, we have seen uh, density. What is the density? Mass per unit volume of the rock. There are three types: dry density, bulk density, and saturated density. What is density? If the if your if your block or sample have some void, then if the all void do not contain the water and filled with only air, is known as dry density. If some of the pore or some of the void or some of the hole contains some water and other some of the hole contains air, then we call it bulk density. And saturated, the all hole contain waters, then we call content. All the hole content water, then we call it saturated. Then we have seen the relation. So the density of the dry density equal to bulk density divided by 1 plus am. And we have seen also moisture content, that means weight of the water divided by weight of solid. That's simple. So weight of water divided by weight of solid. Come to degree of saturation. So now we have seen the saturation. So come to degree of saturation. So saturation. So कितना saturate होगा? The ratio of the volume of water in the void to the total volume of the water. Suppose that this is your sample, then some this void or these holes have some weight, some volume also. So if it will fill, some of the hole will empty and some of the hole will be filled with water. So we will consider those holes which are filled with water. So we will take the volume of the water divided by total volume of the void. Then we call it a saturation. है ना? हिंदी में बताऊं तो इनमें से क्या होगा कि सारे होल पानी से नहीं भरे हैं. अगर सारे भरे होते हैं तो 100% सेचुरेशन हो जाएगा. If all the hole filled with the water, then 100% saturation. Or if not no hole is filled with the water, then 0% saturation. If the 50% the hole is filled with water, then volume of water divided by the volume of void, then it will be 50%. Understood? So it depend how many holes or filled with the water. So this is known as a degree of saturation. Okay. So the ratio of the volume of the water in the void to the total volume of the void. Please comment if you have any doubt regarding whatever I have teach. I will wait 1 minute. Please comment. Are you getting me or not? If anybody will face any problem related to any concept which I am teaching you, you can comment so we can discuss it. Okay, say on same time or in this same class. So density we have seen, moisture content we have seen degree of the saturation. Now come to the permeability. What is permeability? Permeability is, that means suppose that you take some gravels. Okay, so water will flow from the gravels, can flow from the gravels. But if you have taken the so sand, then water permeability is less. What it means? So ability to porous material to allow a liquid to pass through its pores. मतलब ability. If you have taken a sample, so if the hole are smaller, then the water will pass with difficulties. If these hole are bigger, so it water will pass very fast. So what is the permeability? That means ability to porous material to allow a liquid to pass through its pores. मतलब ये एक एबिलिटी होती है किसी भी स्पेसिमेन और किसी भी मटेरियल की कि वो पानी को और लिक्विड को एक पास होने दे रहा, मतलब अपने उससे गुजरने दे रहा है. तो अब गुजरने तो दे रहा है, पर दोज मटेरियल वो जो जल्दी पास होने देता है या दोज हु अलाउड टू पास इट. Okay, I will explain degree of saturation. First, we will see the degree of saturation. Degree of saturation, that means कि if you have any sample or any, if all the porous or all the void filled with the water is known as fully saturated. You have seen a sponge. So if you put in the water, it will absorb all the water. So after it will filled with the water, all pores will filled with the water, it will 100% saturated. So also one example is also if you are living on the earth, when rain will come. Rain will come after fully saturation. Your cloud will be, when fully saturated, they will break into the pieces and fall down on the earth. This is also example of saturation. तो सेचुरेशन क्या होता है कि कभी भी जो होल होते हैं या किसी भी मटेरियल की वो कैपेसिटी होती है जिसमें सारे होल जो उनकी कैपेसिटी के हिसाब से कितना भरा हुआ है, अगर ऑल द होल फुल्ली सेचुरेटेड है, मतलब ऑल द होल्स आर फुल्ली filled with the water, then it will be 100% saturated. That is the degree. This is also degree. So percentage, when we calculated percentage, in the percentage, this is the degree of saturation, the ratio of the volume of a water to the volume of the total volume. So अगर इनमें से 30% filled with the water, then the degree will be 30% saturation. And if all the hole is filled with, then 100%. If none of the hole is filled with water, then 0% saturation. This is the degree of saturation. मतलब कि ratio of the volume of the water divided by the volume of the void. You should remember this formula just. कितना खाली होल है उसमें कितनों में पानी है, यही है डिग्री ऑफ सैचुरेशन. मीन्स हाउ मेनी वॉल्यूम ऑफ द void divided by the volume of water divided by the volume of the void. Just Remember it. Permeability, I also said that permeability, that means it is the ability to allow a water to pass through a sample. It is the permeability. If the holes are near, then permeability will be. If the holes are the smaller, then permeability will less. If the hole are bigger, then permeability are more. Means that means water will flow easily. जितना इजीली पानी एक मटेरियल से पास होगा उसको ही बोलते हैं ज़्यादा permeability. If I have any video, I will show you so you can better understand the permeability. Suppose that this is the gravel and this is sand and this is a clay. So in the gravel you will find more voids or more pores. So खाली जगह ज़्यादा मिलेगी, है ना. You will find more space in the gravels. So air can store more, water can store more. In the sand you will find less voids or less porous. So the water or air can will be less in this sand. In the clay, there are the space between the particles will be very less. So water storage and the air storage will be very less. So this is the three example. In this gravels we have put some gravels, in this we have put some sands, and in this we have put some clay. So now we are putting some water, all of them. You will see that in the first in the gravel, the water is flow down from top to bottom in a few seconds. So permeability is very high. And in the second example is the example of sand, in which you can see water is flowing faster than clay but lesser than the gravel. You can see second is the in the second the water passes slowly through the sand, but third example is clay. In the water can't pass, or it will take time to pass through the clay. So permeability is very less in the case of clay. So permeability is very high in case of the gravels, but permeability is very less in. So you can see permeability is highly permeability in the gravels and low permeability in the clay.
To watch the complete video, download Mining Gyan 2.0 app from the Play Store and enjoy seamless learning with Mining Gyan 2.0.